And we're live. Hello everybody, it's Sunday the 24th of May. We're still in the middle of this lockdown thing. Nothing we can do about it. For those of us, yesterday we all would have been at Spamount Noma. These two idiots here would have been competing, as would a lot of other boys. I had, from memory, volunteered to be on the rescue crew, so I would have been there yesterday too, enjoying it. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. It's not a great day here, don't worry. I'm sure you're all looking at me going, is it freezing in Bangor? He needs a hat. No, it's not. And yes, before you ask, I do have other clothes, but I always like to wear the sprint stuff to try and promote the sprint range. It's all available via Blackwater Graphics on their website. So there's a wee plug in there for anybody that hasn't bought any yet. Just a pity we're not getting the events to wear that this year, but what can you do? Just get myself comfortable here. I had a great chat earlier on with somebody actually, and I thought it was quite good because he was saying that the thing he misses the most is he feels that he misses not his friends but his motorsport family, which I think is quite ironic at the minute and quite a good thing, because especially it's one good thing everybody's telling us to promote is mental health and keep in touch with their friends and their family and stuff. So I thought his words were very inspiring, and I thought that was good. And I know we mentioned it the other night with Davy Francis as well about being one big motorsport family. And he's right. Now, talking about Davy Francis, actually, Davy, as I'm sure you'll agree, that was a fabulous interview the other night. And I was looking at the viewing figures earlier on that come up from a weekly update. The 4 videos we've done, we've reached just over 16,000 people. And between Thursday night, Friday and into Saturday, Davy's viewing figures were going up quicker than a 4-wheel drive trying to catch him up Carn Castle. So that was quite good, Davy. Your videos were definitely popular. Now, back to the old motorsport family theme as I was talking about. There's no better motorsport family in the paddock than the Hawthorns. They all come en masse on a Friday night. 3 and 4 car loads of them, van loads of them, whatever way you want to do. Set up on a Friday night. They bring the wives, they bring the weans, they even bring the brother-in-law, all the mates down, bit of fun, set up, bit of crack amongst the paddock. Saturday morning, they're the first up, ready to go. Always keen to jump out, help anybody needs help. They've kept me in events more times than enough by lent me bits and pieces, helped me when I've had issues. Actually kept me in the March event because I plugged the car in there to charge the battery up continually. If it hadn't been for them, I wouldn't have got competing. So it's quite ironic when we mention family, and there we have one pair of the motorsport family here with us now. So I'm going to pass across to them and let them introduce themselves. So guys, over to you if you'd like to introduce yourself. Why doesn't the oldest one go first?
That's me. What about you? Stephen, the older, better looking brother, obviously.
Okay.
And I'm obviously David then, and I'm 3 minutes younger than he is. So.
Right. There's bound to be a lot of folk were sitting watching that going, which one's which? So that now answers that question. David is the one at the bottom and Stephen is the one at the top. Well, that is if you are seeing from the same angle as I am. You all know who the other ugly sod is in the top right hand side. That's me. So anyway, right, moving on. Guys, what car do you drive?
A Westfield with a 1400 Hayabusa engine in it.
Okay.
So roughly about what it's motorsport, so we have to go low, don't we? 170 brake horsepower now, the way you word this.
Yeah.
And 460 kilos.
Okay, 460 kilos on 170 horse.
Yeah, well, it's motorsport. We're going low with a horsepower figure.
That is pocket rocket material. That's impressive. That goes to show why the two boys go so quick. Who does the most of the mechanical work, Stephen? Who's the mechanic behind it?
Well, Dave does all the engine work and all we need done. Luckily, it doesn't actually need very much between events. We would just spanner check it before every event. Although in the winter, we had to pull the engine out and do a few upgrades at the output shop and stuff. So I was way above my skill set. Dave had to do that. But I clean it.
So basically, David, then Stephen has an arrive and drive. He just jumps into it, races, and then gives it a wash at the end of the day.
I like where you're going with this, but no, I'd say he's more the cosmetic engineer.
Right, okay.
Any plastics and all. So anytime he hits it, he has to fix it. It's been handy.
No, I wasn't going to say things like that. That's not very nice. Right, okay. I'm going to ask a question open to both of you. I don't know who to ask because I reckon it's both going to be the same. But David, seeing as you answered the first one, Stephen, what got you involved in motorsport?
We have been following motorsport from our no height, following my dad around the rally. So every time he went to go to a rally, we wanted to go. Don't think it always suited him for us to go, but we tagged along anyway. Some things probably haven't changed.
David, would that be the same for you then?
Yeah, it probably didn't suit the two other boys who helped my dad out at the motorsport, Mark and Michael. Probably didn't suit them more than it didn't suit my dad because they had to look after us anywhere we went. But yes, we've been going to rallies. Well, Mark and Michael still turn up, yeah. They still have to look after us.
Something that I was going to ask you later on, but I think this is just perfect timing to do it, guys. There's a famous photo, that I think it was your dad put up on Facebook around Christmas time. I happened to spy it, take a photograph of it, and then I think it disappeared again. But I've shared it a couple of times on this one here, and it's a photograph of these two wee innocent looking Waynes playing with a set of tyres. It transpires it was you pair. What's the story behind that?
Funny enough, I found it out today. That was from a sprint. We used to run a sprint on the 12th of July at Kirkison.
I remember that, and it used to be a belter.
So you'd done the sprint on the 12th of July, and then you went to Eagles Rock on the 13th. And my dad was doing the sprint, and it turns out that's when that photo was taken from the July sprint. So we're really thankful that my dad put that on Facebook. It's been brilliant.
I know, I'm well excited. I went looking to try and find photographs of the pair used to do the lockdown advert. Actually, Joanne does them for me. And I went looking and going, which one of these two's which? And then I remembered that one. I says, that's the one we're going to use. Even Joanne, when I sent it to her, she says, are you sure? Oh, yeah, definitely sure with these pair of boys.
It's not really changed either.
No.
It's been a gift that people have given.
Certainly. Well, David, what was your first competition car?
The first time we competed, we done a rally, a single venue rally at Adair in a Astra GTE, a 2-litre 16-valve car, a Group N car, which was my dad's. So the two of us had to go in it. I drove and Stevie navigated for probably the slowest first lap you've ever seen in your life. Right. Because it's hard to take 25 seconds off yourself at Adair, but in a second run, but we managed to do it.
Good going.
So, but it was a GT Astra. There was nothing like starting in a small car, so it was good. It was great.
Stephen, how much of the 25 seconds he found was down to your good navigating?
Once we figured out where we were going, it was all dead on.
David, how much of the slow first lap was down to his navigating?
Well, a little bit of column for his navigating and my driving would be column.
Is that the car I would remember you competing in? Your dad competing in at the sprints?
No, but my first driving event, I polished that car off, which was actually Eagles Rock. So I rolled it at Eagles Rock on my first event.
Okay.
Which was a bit of an ominous start to motorsport.
Well, thankfully you got that out of the system brave and early.
Thankful for who?
Well, he's had his big one now. That's him done.
No, the car you would probably remember was a Group A Astra. It was a bit quicker than that. It was a proper Group A car.
Yeah. Is that the one Andrew Strani has now?
Yeah.
Yes. I've actually been in it, and it's a belter of a thing. He took
it's a cracking car
on Marshall's Day, and it was fabulous. I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. So, over the years, what else have you driven then?
I actually started doing the sprints about 10 years ago in David McMullen's car. Him and I were doing dual drive, so the low cost with the Z-Tech engine, and the Mega Blade and the single seater.
Yeah.
So
yourself,
now the
obviously that former Vauxhall Lotus, with a good few years in it, and then the Mega Blade, and now the Westfield with the boost engine on it.
Yeah.
So it's great.
And across the wall, Stephen, what would be your favourite of all the cars to drive?
I have to say, I like the Busa the best. The one we have now.
David?
They're all... I don't know if I have a favourite, but they're all different, because obviously when you're in a single-seater, the corner speed is massive, and that's where you get the whole kick from. But the Busa we have now is a lot of fun. So if you want the speed rush, the single-seater was better. If you want the fun factor, probably the Westfield would be better. But the way a single-seater goes around corners is unbelievable.
Yeah. I've got myself all out of kilter here with the order of the questions, so I had other things that I was going to add, but I've just completely lost my track with them here. So I'll just come to the next one here that I can find. Was, when you're both dual driving the same car, how do you determine who goes first? Now, obviously, you've got weather conditions, you've got track conditions, and you're fairly nervous that the other boy's going to break it and not bring it back for you. So how do you decide who goes first? Stephen, how do you do it?
We flick a coin, but usually the way it works out is whatever the worst one is, I get it because I'm really unlucky like that. So it looks like it's going to rain for the second run. I'm in the second run. And I keep sticking to that gurning it in routine.
David, would that be right?
He does do a lot of gurning. But yes, the toss of the coin would be right. And it's became a wee bit of a feature. That there's a wee bit of hype with it. But yeah, just the toss of a coin. And sometimes it works for you, sometimes it goes against you. Stevie would lead you believe it always goes against him, but obviously that's not the way it is.
Would that be the toss of a coin at the start of the event, or between each run, or when do you do it?
Oh, at the start of the event, first thing in the morning, whenever you're getting a car ready. So whoever loses has to go first, is the way we work it.
Whoever loses goes first?
Yeah, because you know yourself, normally as the day goes on, it gets a bit drier and it gets a bit quicker, so we work at that. Whoever loses has to go first.
Right, okay, that's a fair point.
Well, that's how we have it. So, but as I say, sometimes it works for you, sometimes it goes against you. But if you're going last, you always know your target time, so you know if you have to try and pull it out of the bag. Yeah. So,
really, something to encourage you two boys to go quicker isn't advisable, because I love when I'm writing a report, looking at the results, just watching you, and it's 0.2 of a second, and then the other one takes 3 out of that. And then you take 2 out of that, and it's just chop and change all day, and it really is down to the wire on the last run as to who is going to be quickest. But I remember hearing a great story here, and I will see the faces here, and whoever gives me the best face will be the one who answers this. I remember hearing a story about a stray wire on an oil pressure cylinder. Judging by the fact that David was laughing first, I'll let David tell that story, and then Stephen can tell us if he's told it right or not. So what is the story behind that, David?
Well, we're having a couple of issues with a slight oil leak, so we were cleaning it during the day. But as what's tend to happen when you're working on a car during the day, and I think Robbo, who comes to the sprints, will back me up on this, Stevie does a disappearing act when there's work to be done in the car. So
I was actually charging David's car.
You were? Yes. I was talking about that at the start.
So Robbo and I were working on the car, cleaning it up, and the oil pressure light just happened to get pulled out of but there's an oil pressure gauge, so it's not too bad. So the oil pressure light got pulled out, but Stevie was still missing when it was his go, so we had to drive it round to the pit lane for the start for him, so he had to jump in and then go. So I forgot to tell him that the light had got switched off, so he was coming down the back straight out of the main chicane, and the next minute the engine gets cut and he rolls into the side. So I'm just standing there. What's wrong? The oil light's on. There must be something wrong with the engine. Oh, don't worry about it. It must be earthing off the body. His face didn't look too happy. So what it says is I got an extra run in him, and as you know, that extra run makes all the difference.
It does. Stephen, would that be how you remember it?
Yes, big orange light that dice and just went, no, that's it, day over. I suppose if somebody had told you that it was just a wire, has went stray, you'd have taken their arm off for it, but whenever you first hear, oh, there's nothing wrong with it, I forgot to tell you, you go, what?
Some birdies would tell you were up on him when the time that light come on, time-wise. Would that be true? Would you agree with that?
I'd like to think so.
From watching it, I would say you were up on him too.
That was a hot lap.
Well, we'll never know because he never finished it.
Well, exactly. Who actually was the quickest on that day? I just can't remember.
Well, this is a great question, David. Thanks very much for asking it. I won.
You won. Well, actually,
that's a fine deal, yeah.
I think now's as good a time as any to ask the next one, the big important question. Who is the fastest Hawthorne? Stephen, what do you reckon?
Probably Andy. I don't diplomatic.
David, what did you say?
Well, I'm shocked with that because diplomacy is not normally Stevie's best skill. I'm gonna go with it. Depends what day it is. I think that's the beauty of the dual drive, that you don't know how it's going to go until it's over.
Yeah.
It's because you said earlier it's so close. So depends what day it is. Some days he's quicker. But we'll normally turn up places where he's quicker than me, and then other places I'm quicker than him. So
off the top of my head, just didn't think, I haven't researched this, but am I right in saying last year one of you won the class in the hills and one of you won at the sprints? Isn't that right? Or am I wrong with this?
Well, it was closer than that. He won the sprints, and he won the hills, but we were tied on points and amount of class wins, and it actually went to a count back. And on one of the hills that David actually won the class were exactly the same time down to the 100 at Drumhork, and that went down to the second best time as well. So Conor Lavery showed me out in that one. Give him a championship.
There wouldn't be any ill feeling or anything there now with that remark, would there?
No.
it's not better. It's not better.
Yeah, right enough. She was at the same times at Drumhork to the 10th of a 100th of a second, did you say?
100th of a second, yeah.
You did all year and were equal on points and equal on countback.
On class wins, I think with 3 class wins each. I think. And then it went to who had the most second places.
There can't be any. Surely there's no other family ties anywhere in the country that's in any form of motorsport that's as close as that.
It is disappointing.
David, would you say it was disappointing?
Well, I thought it was brilliant. You see when Connor sends you the text on a Sunday morning to say you've got a big countback? It's fantastic.
I think we'd asked Connor what the crack was, and he didn't know because I don't think it had happened, or he didn't know of it happening, where it had been so close between two people.
That's incredible. That just goes to show just how big a set of competitors you pair are. I think this answers the next question then. I was going to say, David, who is your biggest and closest competitor?
Well, obviously probably Stevie, but anybody you're sharing the car with.
Stephen, who would your biggest and closest competitor be?
David. Everything, football, golf, motorsports, the heat.
Right, well, David proved last year to be the fastest. Who's the best golfer then?
Did he pick up this question?
No, I didn't know you played golf.
Yeah.
I think that says all it needs to. Somebody said to me one time before, David, that by the look of my golf, I'm just happy to be out of the house. If you can take that about my golf game.
Well, I'll not ask any more questions about who's the quickest, etc., etc. You'll be glad to know you have passed that round. But tell me this one, fellas. Now, this is one that's been interesting over the previous interviews. There seems to be a common trend here, so it'll be interesting to see if it continues or not. But I'm going to ask, which would your favourite event be and why? Steve, I'll go you first.
The current Castle weekend is a brilliant weekend, and the hill's great. I really enjoy that. But in the sprints, the year we done Bishop's Court was brilliant. It was a cracking sprint, just because it was somewhere new and different, and everybody was pretty much on a level playing field then, because they hadn't done a sprint there before. Yeah. Really enjoyed that one.
It's just a pity it's not on the calendar at the minute, but it's something that I have actually been working in the background to see if we can do something with it. So hopefully it will come back in the future. Who's to know? I went and spectated at it. Loved it. Would love to have got a run around it. But it just wasn't to be. So who knows? Maybe you'll get that chance again. David, what would your favourite event be and why?
I love Crown Castle. I know other people said about it again the Friday night and all, but this is because it's a sprint page. I love St Angelo. I think it has a wee bit of everything as far as the sprint goes. I never got to do Bishop's Court. I was away on holiday, but I think St Angelo's brilliant. Just fast stuff, slow stuff. It has a wee bit of everything, as I say. And we went down to Kellyhaven the night before and made a bit of a day of it, so it was great. So I made it a full weekend.
That's the way to do it. That's definitely the way to do it. And I would agree with you. Everybody knows I'm a Kirkuson man. I love Kirkuson. I can take around Kirkuson with my eyes closed. But I love the run to St Angelo. Just as you say, out that first left-hander after the start line, and it's just flat to the chicanes. I just love it. Last year when it was so open in the infield, it was just superb. It just was as you said, everything in it you could ask for, plus a wee bit more. So, David, if you're the mechanic here, you're maybe in a better place to answer this one. But during lockdown, have you been working at the car? And if so, what have you done?
Well, funnily enough, we worked on it yesterday. So we just spanner checked it, but we actually fixed the oil light switch. Because it didn't need anything else, but we fixed the oil light switch.
Good.
So that's been it.
Have you been doing anything at the car, Stephen, apart from making sure that famous oil light's working?
That's the first I'd seen it since the last event. Because we keep it down my dad's workshop.
Yeah.
So we only really see it when we go down to work on or before an event.
Yeah, well, fair enough.
The beauty about the car is it never really needs much. You know, some cars need work that all the time, single seaters and all, but the Westfields are brilliant.
Yeah. So you would recommend Westfield then for people competing in them then?
Yeah, see, for a bit of sport and a bit of crack. The blade was brilliant too. Just they do what they're supposed to do and they go sideways, so they're a bit of crack as well.
Yeah, you boys are definitely good at getting them sideways. Okay, well, fellas, in terms of motorsport, David, what would be your most memorable moment in motorsport and why?
Probably winning my first sprint would be got fastest time of day Nuts Corner one day. I think it was like 0.1 or 0.2 or something between Jared and myself, and just it was a great battle all day, and you don't think you're going to win one, so I thought it was great. I enjoyed it now. Apart from the speech at the end, and if anybody heard the speech you would know why, it was horrendous.
It can't have been that bad. Stephen, what would be your most memorable moment in motorsport?
I've been thinking about this one all day and I can't actually get one. Any day you bring the car home in one piece is pretty memorable, and any day you don't, you want to forget about it.
Well, yes, I can see your point. I can think of a few times where, yeah, I can definitely see your point. Right, fellas, another interesting one here for you. Stephen, who would your motorsport idol be?
Growing up, always loved Colin McRae. There was just something about him and his driving style. It was just unbelievable to watch. Everything was flat out. It was just, whenever you were growing up as a teenager, that's just the way you wanted to be. He was brilliant.
Would you sort of model your style on him a bit then, would you?
I would love to say yes, but I don't think I could even come close. No.
What about you, David? Who would your motorsport idol be then?
I think this is a hard question because obviously I didn't want to say the same as my brother. So there's a few people. Carlos Sainz obviously is a massive one. He seemed to have a huge career. I don't know what it's 25 or 30 years from he started rallying, and he always seemed to be competitive.
Yeah.
And he was great to watch. But there's a couple of other people like people who seem to get to the top but really, really enjoyed it would probably be better. So the James Hunts, the Barry Sheens, anybody who had a good time while they were doing something really, really competitive, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah. No, I can see where you're coming from, yeah. And I know what you mean. It's difficult. it's difficult when I'm asking the two of you that have grown up together and do everything together like that. So I know you are both going to be similar with that sort of thing. So I know it's difficult for you, where I know exactly where you're coming from with it. But then an interesting one here for you is now, David, if you could drive any car anywhere, what would you like to drive and where?
I would love a run at Spa, on the circuit at Spa, and any fast single seater, Formula 3000 car or something like that. I would have no specifics, but Spa in a really quick single seater must be brilliant. Say a 4-litre Judd engine and something with a aero package. You could really get into it. I think would be fantastic.
Yeah. Well, you've experienced with a wee Formula Vauxhall as well, so that would be a big step up then. Although you've already sort of experienced that, haven't you?
Aye, well, obviously, but whenever you're, Stevie and I marshalled last year at Fisherman's.
Yes.
And it was a massive eye opener for the two of us, because you see the cars with the better aero, just the corner speed, the Dallara was unreal. Now, I know you have to commit to it, and it's a whole package, but just the corner speed it can carry is phenomenal, and it must be brilliant if you're getting something with an aero package and loads of power and give it a real go. But it would be, obviously, it's in your head, you need to sell it yourself before you could actually really get on it. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I do know what you mean.
So,
I take it when you're talking like that there, you would have you've noticed a big difference in driving styles then between the Blade and the Vauxhall?
they're actually, the corner speed's obviously well down, but they're not, it's strange, they're not a million miles away from each other. Okay, pushes a wee bit more than those, but you're not carrying much weight in the Blade or in the Westfield. So the driving styles aren't a million miles away from each other. It's just that corner speed would be massively up. So it was actually, so when Stevie was driving the single seater, it was probably harder for him than when I was driving the Blade, because I was selling this, he had to sell the corner speed himself.
Yeah.
Whereas I had to sell the drift to myself whenever I was going to the Blade, where the single seater won't drift as much. So it's about trying to figure out how quick the single seater can go around the corner.
And would you say you struggled going from one to the other, or is it just straight in, no difference? Just
no, I think that's what your practice stuff's for. But no, they're not, because they're not a million miles away from each other. Now obviously the Vauxhall Lotus had an aero, but not to the extent of some of the other cars. So it would be different, obviously, if you're going with something with a full aero. But no, they weren't a million miles away, and they weren't hard to. And both cars are quite easy to get onto, which is what we liked about the Vauxhall Lotus, especially. It was quite user friendly.
Yeah, great.
It didn't give any.
You had some great results and great fun on that car, no doubt about it.
But it gave you plenty of warning when it was going to do anything, and so it wasn't one of these wicked things that you had to be wary of.
Right, so be user friendly then.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Stephen, then obviously Stephen, going to ask you the same thing. Stephen, if you could drive any car anywhere, what would it be and where?
I'd love to do Centre Shane, the hill climb in a Formula 3000 car. If you ever watch any of the videos of Lionel Regal going up it in his Formula 3000, it's just unreal. Just up underneath the bridge and the aqueduct and stuff.
Yes,
brilliant.
I know the one you mean now, I've watched it.
But just on us marshalling at Fisherman's, I hadn't really marshalled too many points before, but Fisherman's obviously because it's quick. I was saying to Dave, see, after the first run, I thought everybody was trying to kill us. These are all crazy. We're standing outside a corner and everybody comes around just thinking, everybody's about to lose us, what are they doing? I actually texted that night because you were one of the best round it. You were one of the quickest.
Thank you for that. I remember your video, sent me videos of it. But if that's how you feel standing up there, think of how the marshals like my dad and all the other ones that are marshalling down there feel when you pairs coming at them.
I couldn't believe it when you're standing on the outside of a corner, how you just think, this is it. These are coming towards us. They're coming in this marshal's hut.
I was walking to get the chips for lunch, and I had to walk up the main chicane, and that was massive as well. I was going, as I walked up the main chicane, the speed, as a competitor, you have no idea what speed you're doing, because you're in a car and you just know what speed you need to be going around. But every car that came up, I was going, he's not making it, no, into the chicane, the right-hander in the chicane. It's crazy, the speed, but it doesn't do it justice when you're standing on the inside of the track compared to the outside.
One place I watched an event, I think it was the last sprint at Kirkiston last year. Sorry, David, or Stephen, I'll come back to you. Just you're talking about watching things. I think it was the last sprint last year. It was. And I went reasonably early and got my run done. And I went down and stood at the inside of the chicane. In the main chicane on the inside, there's the big bit that we'd use at the rally, the concrete. I stood down there on one of those big dragon's teeth that put me up looking over the top of the fence. And if you ever get a chance to spectate from down there, you should go down there, you see, because you're getting the people coming out of fishermen's are coming at you. And it's incredible. Really worth a really good spectating spot. That. Try it till you see. Sorry, Stephen. I was saying to David there about the Busa and the Vauxhall. How do you find jumping between the two?
They are pretty user friendly, the two of them. You can jump into them and go. You'd go quicker if you're in them all the time, obviously. Yeah. But because they are user friendly, you can just jump in and go rightly at them. Now, the single seater, you obviously have to be a wee bit more respectful on the brakes and downshift. If you're turning in, you find out quickly that it doesn't like turning on downshift as you're going backwards in the Colonial 1. There are harsh lessons to learn.
Would you fancy doing a dual drive in the single seater, the way you do with the Blade?
We've done that a load of times. With the Sunday, always at the British Sprint Championship, we would do the Sunday in the single seater.
Would you fancy doing a season on it?
Yeah, but the boosters and the Blade and all, they're so easy to get in and out of. You don't need somebody strapping you in. You just jump in. You can run around the car 2 minutes before you're due to go and jump in and you're away.
Yeah.
You don't need batteries plugged in. You don't need somebody strapping in your harness and all.
I suppose that's true.
So they are.
I wouldn't have thought of that. But you have a great class there. Class 7 superb. The banter and the crack and the carry on is just brilliant. And would you get that anywhere else?
Hard to know. It's a competitive class too, and that makes it better. You don't like to be in a class where you're just sort of sitting out on your own, because you need somebody's times to be looking at, to push on a wee bit. And you don't like getting beat at times, but if you're not getting beat, you'll not be getting any quicker.
That's true.
Because other people drive you forward.
That's true. Because last year you'd have seen it when Scott was out. Scott really took that by the horns last year. He had a great run a couple of times in that wee car, and out against us, and Paul Hamill as well. When he came, you both seemed to step the game up a bit, because Paul would do a lot in the hills and was very quick. But would he have been pushing you on too?
Oh, definitely. Yes, we were definitely swapping times with Paul. It was close. Again, those people drive you on, and Graham Boyce as well when he comes out at the sprints. It's not easy to beat Graham either. So Graham and Paul and all drive you on. But what you said earlier on about Class 7, it's great. Everyone's really friendly. Tom Devaney and Graham Boyce, and now with Rudy and Strani, and then Richard Munnis as well. He's Class 5, but he should be in Class 7, but he won't buy the tyres.
Come on, Richard.
We're not going to start any disputes here now. I've just had a note passed to me. Robert Best, who's watching, has said, quote, "Two legends of sport. All young kids should look up to these guys." What do you think of that? I think that's a real good compliment.
It is, but if you know Robert Best, you'll know it's not a compliment.
Oh, is this a double-edged sword, is it?
Yes.
Right, well, we'll move on then.
We'll take it as a compliment. Thanks, Robert.
He's lining something up.
Right, well, we'll not read any more messages out there. Here's an interesting one for you then. I'll start with you, David. Or sorry, I'll start with Stephen again because David fell for it first the last time. Stephen, if you could get a run with somebody, who would you most like a run with and why?
I would love a run with Kate Baxendale to any secluded beauty spot.
Okay.
I don't know. I was thinking about that question all day. I don't know who would. I think I would like a run with Michael Schumacher in his prime, round somewhere like Silverstone, where it's quick, and you'd be hanging on to the edge of the seat the whole lap.
Right. Okay. What about you, David? Who would you most fancy a run the car with?
I would have loved to run with when Gene Spinizzi drove a 306 Maxi in Corsica, something like that, because that again, what Stevie said, it was taking every chance and it was hanging on in there, and he drove the wheels off it, and it was screaming. I thought it was brilliant.
They were. There's some great footage. Every now and then seems to reappear on YouTube of him, and I know exactly what you're saying. He's absolutely fabulous to watch. There's no doubt about it.
He was busy in the car, and I think it would be brilliant to watch.
Yeah. Do you reckon you could learn anything from him?
Well, you learn plenty. Whether you could put it into practice would be a whole different thing.
What about you, Stephen? What do you reckon you would learn from Michael?
Not enough to take in. I think it would just be how smooth he was unreal. It's just I seen a data logging thing with him when he was teammates with can't remember who it was, but it was a Benetton, and he was on the brakes earlier than his teammate, but he was also on the power quicker, and he didn't brake as hard and he accelerated far harder, and it was the tiniest difference, but it made a difference of like 2 or 3 seconds a lap, but it was just because he was so smooth.
Yeah, I remember.
And looked after him.
I remember watching one Grand Prix at only what was 4th gear or 5th gear or something, and he managed to win it with only 1 gear.
He was brilliant.
Absolute legend. There's no doubt about it. But we've come to the end of the questions that I have here for you. So this is this is what I'm interested to see. I'll ask you this separately, and I'll start with you, David. David, I'm going to get my pen and my paper here ready because, and I know admittedly I have a few I need to catch up on. But David, who would you like to see interviewed?
I think for a few of his stories, Robert McGimsey would be a good candidate.
Okay, I'm just writing that down. I must admit, I agree with you and I know exactly where you're coming from. Stephen, who would you like to see interviewed?
Funny, I was going to say Robert too, but I think Ricky would be good too. Ricky's driven some amount of different cars in this time.
Definitely, right. Well, if the two McGimsey fellas are watching and you see my number appearing on the screen, I've just written them down. You know what I'm phoning this for, guys. It's common. There's a few other people that have been suggested too. Are we going to be getting the dreaded phone call this week? I'll be honest with you, I haven't got anybody lined up for the next interview yet. My own fault. So the next one I'm not going to announce now because I haven't got it sorted. But there will be something that will come through during the week through Facebook when I get something sorted. I have a few people in mind. There'll be a phone call going out tomorrow. I wasn't going to do it today. I never got a chance yesterday and I didn't think it was appropriate to phone people today. Bank holiday weekend, etc., etc. But Monday's a new week. So somebody will be getting the dreaded phone call in the morning. We'll look to do something either Thursday night or Sunday night coming. Apologies that I've nothing lined up now, but it will come. It will come.
Yeah. Davey, why don't you just name them and then they can't say no? Just say a name and then they have to come on.
That's not fair. That's not fair. I know people did that to you and you guys had no option, but not everybody's as geared for a bit of crack as you guys, you know. And I certainly have had great banter listening to the various, and hopefully you have enjoyed it too. So I just want to thank you very much for agreeing to take part. It's the first one I've done with two people, so I hope neither of you felt left out. It's more difficult trying to keep two people involved, if you know what I mean. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you both very much for taking the time to participate. It's great crack, it's a bit of fun, and it brings everybody together. thank you very much again, guys. So
thanks very much, David. Thanks for all the good work you're doing for the sprints and all too. And all that, we couldn't do anything that we do on Saturdays or any weekend without the marshals and the timekeepers and everybody who makes everything run. The likes of yourself.
Well, thank you very much for that.
Yes.
I know what you mean about the marshals and stuff. They are the unsung heroes. Without marshals and officials and timekeepers and all, the events don't happen. So yeah, totally agree with what you're saying. Thank you very much for that point.
Well,
yes, this is great, and this promoting the championship itself has been great. So for that, I thank you, and thanks very much for tonight.
No problem. Thank you very much, guys. I'm just going to finish up and say, listen, thank you everybody that's tuned in and watched. I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly enjoyed myself with these two boys. The crack is good. I've been speaking to them a couple of times before this went live as well, and the banter and the crack was good then too, which is ultimately what it's all about. So I'm just going to hang up the official page now, so bear with me, because you'll all get to see the grey baldy bit on the top of the head here while I switch the online stuff off. So just bear with me, fellas.